we're up in the, getting closer to the canopy here of this pine. It's been 3 years since I've climbed, everybody. It's been 3 years. If I let my fears rule me, simply we're not going to accomplish anything. Well, pretty high, I don't know, probably 50, 60 feet or so. Yeah, probably my head's probably around 50 or 60 feet. Guys, I really do appreciate you being here. I appreciate all the subscribers, all the videos, all the comments, all the thumbs ups. Please share them. Share them with people. I could definitely use that as well. Channel is definitely growing. The better the channel does, the more I can do. And that's the goal, everybody. Because I love absolutely doing this. I love recording for you all. I love having a relationship via the comment section, emails. I love all that stuff, guys. It's really cool. I've learned so much from you. It's a great group of people. And so, and I also appreciate that the comment section is always very respectable. Every so often you get quirky comments from people, but that's okay. And I invite it sometimes because the reality is I am not a professional. I'm not an expert. I've just fallen a lot of trees on this property. All the bare spots that you see here, my wife and I and kids have done. And it has been a wonderful learning experience. I do want to address one thing. When I was following those trees in that field, this is something that's important to me. I think it's important to be safe. You want to have an idea of what you're doing before you start, especially with any sort of tree work. The reality is, I had a comment, a guy said, find yourself someone who knows what they're doing, something to this effect. Find yourself someone who knows what they're doing and have them teach you before you kill yourself. Basically, before you injure yourself, before you leave your wife a widow, he's saying find someone to teach you. I gotta be bluntly honest with you. There's a lot of tree care professionals around here. Again, we don't have a big falling industry. There's a lot of tree care professionals that have always gotten the tree down on the ground their way. And honestly, if you saw the way they did it, many of these people would have extremely unique comments. So if I were to find someone to teach me, I may never actually do the project because that's the reality of it. And again, I have a mix. Guys, I've learned primarily off of YouTube. I have a mix of watching West Coast guys falling trees, and I have a mix of East Coast and all in between people around the world. Remember, people around in Europe do it entirely different than our West Coast fallers do and our East Coast fallers. And so something that's like, I want to go back around to what I was talking about is if you are so afraid to do everything 100% a certain way, you're never going to do anything. Guys, do you think that it was comfortable for me for the first tree I ever climbed? Really, if you're an arborist, the first tree you ever climbed, if you were a ground hand, if you started working, the first tree you ever climbed, let's be real, is probably quite nerve-wracking. I remember the first time I climbed a pole. It was nerve-wracking. It was nerve-wracking to me the other day when I climbed the tree, because it's been 3 years. If I let my fears rule me, simply we're not going to accomplish anything. And when you live out in the rural, when you're on a budget, when you have boys that you're trying to train up and teach, you have got to do things out of your comfort zone. It's extremely important. I really believe that our nation would be better off if we had people that were willing to try something, build something, without thinking that you need to be an expert to do it. Again, we got to use our brains. We got to be wise in the way we do things. I don't want to leave my family without a father. Certainly I don't want to do that. But I also want my boys not to be the kind of person that says, I can't cut that tree down because I'm not a professional. I need to pay I don't know how much this work would have cost today if I would have had to hire someone. If I had to hire an excavator to come out here, that's what a lot of people do, guys. They just get a mechanical machine out to push trees. That's what most people do. There's really not very many fallers. It wouldn't have been cheap. When I was at the excavation company, the company charged $75 an hour for me to run a saw for them. They were charging $75 an hour for me to cut in between trees going down. Can I afford that at my property? I absolutely cannot. Could I have afforded someone to do all the plumbing in my home? Absolutely not. We could barely afford what we did, right? Could I have afforded someone to do all the electrical? Absolutely not. We did it as a family. My boys got to run wire, got to pull wire. They got to see how to wire a panel. That was my very first panel I wired 100%. I did have an electrician come and check my work. Okay, I'm not a fool. Wanted to make sure that I did it acceptably, and he passed me with flying colors and asked me if I wanted a job. Guys, we can use our brains. We're far more capable of what we're far more capable of doing things than we think we are. We're far more capable of doing things than the world tells us we are. We're told that you have to go get a license. You have to go get permits to build a house. That's the beautiful thing about where I live here in Oklahoma. We can do anything we want. I can make a house as well as I want, and I can make a house as poor as I want. But you better believe it, I'm a man and I love my family. I'm not gonna build a junk house for them. It's very important that my house is safe for my family. And we're the better for it. I believe that we're the better for it. My boys are out here working in this hot heat instead of playing video games. They're gonna get to play games. They'll get to play games later. They're gonna get to rest in that AC. But they also come out here and work, and I do appreciate it. My wife is a trooper. Guys, do you think most ladies don't wanna be out here cutting trees, moving logs and branches? My wife is encouraging to always keep going and keep pushing and do this, because in order to accomplish anything, we have to do it ourselves. And you all can do more yourselves with educating yourselves. YouTube is the best tool in the world. You can learn so much more on YouTube than you can go into a trade school, in my opinion. Now again, you want to try to absorb yourself in the subject. Make sure you have a good understanding. Ask questions, ask physical people if you can, get some experience. But you can learn so much, guys. You can learn how to wire stuff. Guys, be a doer. Be someone that is capable, because you are capable. Don't find yourself too bright. Be humble. Okay? Don't think too highly of yourself. I'm not talking about being prideful here. I'm talking about going in humbly to a project, understanding that you do not know what you're doing necessarily, right? Do I know everything about tree falling, chainsaws, house building? Absolutely do not. Deck building? Totally not. Being a father, being a husband? Absolutely not. Imagine if I said I had to be an expert before I married my wife. We're at 16 years, babe? We're at 16 years in March. Baby, we're gonna be at 17 years in March. Holy cow. Marriage is hard, but it's beautiful. It's a gift that I believe that God has given to us. And I have beautiful boys because of it. And it's hard work. Building this house was hard work. Cutting trees is hard work. Making something of yourself is hard work. Having a job worth a darn is hard work. But it's all worth it. Even through the struggle, right? Even through the uncomfortableness. Guys, I have weird skin conditions. My skin hurts bad when I sweat. I don't know what I've got. I break out like, I got blood right here on my, that's just literally from me existing out in the sunlight. I don't know what the heck, man. It itches. It's just the way it always is. It's the way it's always been for me. Get it on my shoulder, right here around my waist and all that. I'm uncomfortable, but guess what? We still do it because I have a family and I want to provide for them, and I want to teach my boys. My boys are sitting here watching me through this camera right now. Got a little smirk, didn't you? He's waving at me. But this might be the best pep talk they ever get. If I die in a car wreck or something going to work, this stuff is going to be recorded for them to see. And I hope it inspires them. I hope it inspires my wife to keep pushing through things if for some reason I ever was gone. And I hope it helps you guys. I really do. I really do. I'm a husband. I'm a husband to my wife first in terms of my family, and I'm a father. And we want to do well as a family. So again, I appreciate you. This was a long little thing. I wasn't going to go into all this, but some of y'all really like it when I just talk. So I appreciate you being here. Thank you for watching Okie Woodsman. Help support the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.